If you've seen the new Peter Parker model, chances are you're probably having mixed feelings about it. I don't think I've seen a single person genuinely excited and hyped over the change. Some people are pretty upset and others are just saying it is what it is. But nonetheless, I believe it's a problem and it has to be addressed even though they'll probably not change it. Marvel's Spider-Man on the PS4 was an absolute hit. It sold more than 9 million copies and it's received an 87 on Metacritic. Most people enjoyed and loved the story and never really had a problem with the model for Peter Parker, so why did Insomniac decide to change it? The original model was John Bubniak, whilst the new one is Ben Jordan. The voice of Peter is still the same though, being voiced by Yuri Lowenthal. Creative director Brian Intar went on to explain that the change was because they needed a better facial match for the actor Yuri Lowenthal, who's also responsible for doing the motion capture. But when I first read this, I found it to be a genuinely strange reason. Because the PS5 is a stronger console, they apparently need to change the face model so that it's more detailed and animated well. On paper this seems great, but honestly comparing both the scenes from the original and the remaster, does it really seem that much better? I mean, yeah, I will 100% agree that the new model definitely has higher graphical fidelity, it looks crisper and much more detailed, but is it really worth changing the entire model for what seems like only a slight graphical improvement? The face of Peter Parker from the original game is the one we've developed almost an emotional connection with. We watched him go through this amazing character arc and grow. We shared his experience of struggling as Spider-Man and Peter Parker, working with Doc Ock, his relationship with MJ, trying to save Aunt May but being unable to. Some of the best scenes within the game are when Peter has his mask off. I think it's safe to say that the final scene when Peter makes the ultimate decision to save the city over his aunt was something that we truly felt. And now a completely different face is going to be in that scene. Someone else's face is going to cry for Aunt May.
Take off your mask. I want to see my nephew.
Maybe I am overreacting, but what's for certain is that we'll definitely not have any type of connection with the new model going into Spider-Man Miles Morales and eventually Spider-Man 2. I mean, I kind of don't want to even play the remaster because I want to preserve the experience that I had with the original and not have a new face ruin it all. And the connection I would have had to Peter in a future Spider-Man sequel will be completely non-existent. The sequel will be as if it's a new standalone game with a story of a new Peter Parker rather than a continuation of a beloved character. If you think I'm exaggerating, just imagine Sam Raimi made Spider-Man 4, but Tobey Maguire was replaced with Tom Holland, but Tobey's voice was still used.
I bet you were glad when your old pal Spider-Man showed up in the elevator, though.
I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye.
Sure, it's not nearly as intense, but you can imagine how that'd be so wrong on so many levels. I mean, we have nothing against Tom Holland, and I'm sure if Ben Jordan was the original face model used, no one would have made that much of a reaction in the beginning, and then if it was changed to John Bubniak, there would also be a similar outrage from the fans as there is now. But the idea is that a character that we've grown to love is being changed, and so all the experiences and attachment that we developed in the original game is going to have to remain in that game. But I do think Insomniac is fully justified in making the change. However, I'm saying this purely from a developer's perspective. Assuming the reason they gave for the change was the sole reason, I'm not going to go into conspiracies in this video, then it does make sense to make the change because it's now made it easier to animate and make his face look detailed. The face now also graphically looks better. This will probably sell more games because, to be honest, the guys that are complaining about the change are the hardcore fans that loved the first game, and we're going to buy the game regardless of what they do. And so if you look at it from Insomniac's perspective, the pros are a better looking Peter Parker that's graphically more detailed and animated, whilst the cons are just a bunch of angry hardcore fans that will probably eventually get over it. Though it does beg the question, if Peter's model needed to be changed to better fit Yuri's face structure, why did no other character's model have to be changed? Why didn't MJ's model have to be changed or Miles' model? Were their models already chosen to fit the facial structure of their respective voice actors? And if so, then why wasn't Peter's model chosen to fit Yuri from the start? I'm starting to go into conspiracy theories now, so I'm going to stop and let you guys speculate in the comments. I know a lot of people are upset at how young Peter looks as well, and that he doesn't really look 23. I'm personally not too worried about it, but I can see why people are complaining. Though I'm giving Insomniac the benefit of the doubt and assuming that he just kind of looks young in this specific scene, and hopefully he will look better in the new scenes that are made. He kind of looks younger than Miles Morales, which is kind of a problem because Miles is 16 and Peter is 24 technically at the time of Spider-Man Miles Morales coming out. So that's probably something that they hopefully will change, but I don't really have a problem. I don't have much opinions about it at all, so let me know in the comments below if that bothers you and why. I've heard some people say that he kind of needs a jawline and that his hair makes him look too young, so let me know if that's something that bothers you. Ultimately, the decision to change Peter's model I think can be justified from whatever side you're on. From Insomniac's side, it does make sense as a developer to have a model that will just look and work better with your voice actor in terms of detail and animations. But from a hardcore fan's perspective, say if Insomniac came to me and asked, what should we do? I'd answer, don't change him. I'd prefer having a worse looking Peter, but still have that connection I developed from the first game. I'd be willing to make that compromise simply for that. Now, just a disclaimer that this doesn't justify going and harassing Insomniac. This video serves to simply express both pros and cons to the decision that Insomniac made and express why I personally disagree with their decision coming from a fan's perspective. At the end of the day, I'll be buying Spider-Man Miles Morales and Spider-Man 2 and whatever Insomniac make because the games are still going to be fantastic and I'll just have to get used to it, even though it will be quite difficult and it will never be the same. Brian posted a tweet saying that people were sending death threats and harassing him, and honestly, if you are doing that, then you should really consider and reflect on why you're getting so upset over a game. So with that being said, I hope you guys did enjoy this discussion, and do leave a like if you did. Let me know what you think about the new Peter Parker in the comments, and remember to subscribe because chances are you aren't, because YouTube statistics show more than 90% of people that watch my videos aren't even subscribed. So make sure you are subscribed because Spider-Man Miles Morales is right around the corner, and I can't wait to play and upload heaps of videos on it, so make sure you're subscribed for all of that, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.